Audio check. Hello. Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Ausyellow. Welcome back to Formula Paw. I know we're in Baku, but who is going to be Senna? Pattern Senna for Lotus Whiskers. This. Hold on. Right. Hopefully everything should be going fine now. Pattern Senna is going to be the driver starting last, and we go to Azerbaijan or Baku. Sebastian Vettel will start last in Circuit de Monte Carlo or Monaco. Also, I mentioned in the last race, Grand Slams. Real quick. Max Verstappen on pole position this time. Kitty Softballs and Lewis Ham in the same positions they were last race. Whisper Wolf has done an incredible job. By comparison to Willow down in 17th, Tuxedo Noki in 14th. And then where's the other Klonigzog? Well, we'll find out. No, we won't, actually, because I need to set up this. I also had a go at trying to beat Lewis Ham's record in... Whoops. I tried having a go at beating Lewis Ham's record in Singapore, and I improved on my record, but I did a terrible lap, so obviously I need to continue working on that if I'm going to try to get there. Let's go. I'll talk about Grand Slams just after the race begins. We have Max Verstappen in pole position, Kitty Softpaws and Lewis Ham unable to get a front row lockout as Mercedes Petronas, Whisper Wolf on hard tyres as usual, Jake Villeneuve, Fernando Alonso, Roxy Tundra, Bark Lauder, Nelson Pupket, very good for Wolf Williams, Goldie Iris, Michael Schusnacker, Angel Frost, Willow Wolf, Tuxedo Noki, Sebastian Vettel, Alan Post, Sally Snowball, Macho Gatto, Phoebe Fittipaldi, Oliver Behrman, Nigel Barksall, and Pattern Senna. Soft tyres we go. I really hope that this is not going to be okay, because for some weird reason my computer is struggling. Okay, and it's only this and recording software that's open, and it's trying to do all sorts of other things that I don't want. Anyway, it's lights out and away we go. Max Verstappen gets away well. It's going to be Lewis Ham fighting Max Verstappen because they are both on soft tyres. There's quite a large run down into the first corner. Lewis Ham goes to the inside and appears to have made the move on Max Verstappen, and then on the inside again into turn 3 is well ahead. Let's also not forget Jake Villeneuve, who came in second place on the first race. That was a big lag spike there. It's definitely in the fight. Why does my mouse have the wheel of death? 5-second time penalty to Willow Wolf for causing some collision back there. Either way, Kitty Softpaws is now in the lead, followed by teammate Lewis Ham. It is a Mercedes Petronas 1-2. Jake Villeneuve might actually want to try to make the overtake here, and down the inside on the input of the chicane gets past Max Verstappen. Crashes are certainly prone here. 5-second time penalty to Phoebe Fittipaldi for causing another collision. And also Snowball as well. What seems like a very good race start for Klonigzogs might not actually end that way, because Whisper Wolf, the leading Klonigzog, is on hard tyres. Klonigzogs are now back in the fight with Racing Paw, despite them being 27 points behind. A 2-race knockout, or a double car knockout, plus some decent points, maybe even a race win, would bring them closer to the battle. Either way, Kitty Softpaws leads the first lap, followed by Lewis Ham Jake Villeneuve, Max Verstappen, Roxy Tundra, and Fernando Alonso. Lewis Ham trying the inside line again into the first corner, unable to make the move there, but we'll have DRS on the third straight after the second corner. As they run down to turn 3, Lewis Ham has the inside line and is in the lead of the race currently. And then back here, that is a huge just cluster of cars. 5-second time penalty to Tuxedo Noki as well. I think that this cluster of cars has come about due to Whisper Wolf being on the hard tyres. And then that's both of the... No, that's not both of the Wifton Martins, my bad. And as of right now, could be better, but it... Oh, wow, no, it is actually quite slow. Why is it slow? Hang on, I'm going to put the race on pause for a moment, and I'm just going to try and investigate this to see what is going on, if anything. Whoops. Well, as it turns out, I forgot to put the recording on pause, my bad. But I mean, those of you watching the highlights won't get affected by this. Why is it loading? Oh my goodness. Like, the only thing I'm told to end the task on was Discord, because for some reason Discord thought it was important enough to show itself. And here, Max Verstappen with the inside line on Kitty Softpaws. This is unbearable. Shut up! Go away! Stupid notification. Both Max Verstappen and Kitty Softpaws, Jake Villeneuve even, get ahead of Kitty Softpaws, but not for long. Kitty Softpaws will certainly want to fight back. It's Max Verstappen without the DRS, and Villeneuve on the outside there. The positions remain as they were when they crossed the finish line. Lewis Ham with a rather substantial-ish lead for now. How's our driver in last place? Patton Senna is doing, well, pretty good, I guess. And what about our championship leader, Tuxedo Noki, P7? Right. Okay, anyway, Grand Slams. I've written it all down. First bronze Grand Slam winner in Imola after getting pole position and the race win. I completely forgot that Willow Wolf got the pole position then. And then the second bronze Grand Slam winner was Tuxedo Noki in Silverstone from getting pole position and the race win. That was race number 5. Race number 1 was when Willow got the bronze. Fernando Alonso now beginning to mount the attack on Kitty Softpaws with DRS as the inside line. Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap, despite, by the looks of things, losing time to Lewis Ham. That is a very clean pass for Fernando Alonso, Macho Gato, in the fight with Goldie Iris, and gets up to P9. Will definitely be able to strike on Whisper. I have no idea why Whisper has such a large obsession with hard tyres. Kitty Softpaws has a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision somewhere. Whoops. For some reason they don't bother showing us this collision. Willow Wolf sits the fastest first sector. And then on the inside, Nelson Pupkett gets past Goldie Iris. This is just where the hard and medium tyre drivers start falling. Goldie Iris with the insides of the sort of left and right corners there manages to just about take the position back. Roxy Tundra, the fastest in the middle sector. 5-second time penalty to Angel Frost. I'm not surprised, because it is a street circuit after all. Imagine Monaco, because Monaco is in a way even worse with the ultra slow speed corners. And actually in Baku here, there are quite a few runoff zones, I guess, and that is a double overtake on, well, a double undertake even. Goldie Iris and Nelson Pupket managed to get past Whisper Wolf. That's just the hard tyres for you. Max Verstappen is going head-to-head against Lewis Ham, but is unable to get past. I think Max Verstappen has a skill level of 10, while Lewis Ham has a skill level of 9. Either way, I wonder if there is a skill level of 9 race winner. I'll need to check. Do I get skill levels in here? No, I don't. Where's the skill level stuff? I can never find anything in here. Aha, here we are. So race winner Lewis Ham has won a race with a skill level of 9. Max Verstappen has also won a race with a skill level of 10. Oliver Behrman has won a race with a skill level of 7, but that's also the starting differential as well. Willow has won a race with a skill level of 10, and lastly, Tuxedo Noki with a skill level of 10 has won 2 races. Jake Villeneuve on the inside line into turn 2 manages to get ahead of Max Verstappen, who was going quite slowly towards the end, through the second sector and the third sector. Oh, and that was incredibly wide there for Jake Villeneuve. Max Verstappen seemed to have slowed down towards the end of the previous lap, allowed Hamilton or Lewis Ham even, to sort of escape. Bark louder with the fastest first sector. Despite me not being the greatest around this track, and also not really liking this track that much, I do believe that fastest lap, or the lap record set by me, won't be broken easily. And look at that. That is just astonishing. Max Verstappen is so slow towards the end of the second sector and the third sector, and is just making a massive gap between himself and Max Verstappen. Here's Fernando Alonso and a building on Jake Villeneuve. There's not really a building there in actual Baku, but Jake Villeneuve has DRS here and takes the position back. Jake Villeneuve does seem like an incredibly strong competitor here, with a skill level of 10 also. Oh, that's a surprise. But also, Jake Villeneuve has not gotten a time penalty this race, which is something we haven't seen yet. Roxy Tundra defending against Tuxedo Noki. This will be Tundra's highest acquisition of points. Because Tundra was, I believe, in the battle for first place at Imola. Wasn't able to get many points, unfortunately. Why do I have an antivirus thing that's just popped up? Is that literally what my computer was cooking this entire time? Right, because it's fine now. The FPS in Monoposto has increased, and everything feels fine. My mouse doesn't have a wheel on it. My PC fans, my computer fans, laptop fans, aren't going at all. Bark Louder must have a puncture, I think. Yep, that is a rear tyre puncture right there. It's unfortunate as well, because Lauda wasn't in the best position for a race win here, but now goes straight to last place with that puncture. Lewis Ham holding a gap together, and I saw the gap there, but for some reason the computer didn't. Fernando Alonso on the second straight, or the second DRS zone, technically, gets past Jake Villeneuve and goes on to the podium. Oliver Behrman against Schumacher here. Schumacher, previous race winner, now in, well, not really net last place, but certainly last place. Why are we going to Lauda in the pits? We know Lauda's in the pits. Right, show us someone who's about to crash or something. Willow Wolf P17, Whisper Wolf P13. The Clorning Zog's not doing as great as they have done, usually due to just tyre strategy as well. That I think is one of the biggest killers. But from where they are currently standing, it could be worse. Ayrton Senna has gone from last to P11 and has a huge gap to close down between himself and Mazzucato. How big is the gap? 4 seconds or 4.6 seconds, roughly, because I still think it is done by distance as opposed to time. Fernando Alonso, who is also a skill level of 10, I guess. Does he have a skill level of 10? He does! Fernando Alonso has gotten past Max Verstappen. It's funny how Lewis Ham has a skill level of 9, but yet Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen, Jake Villeneuve, they all have a skill level of 10, and they are all behind. That's just incredible, I think. Max Verstappen still holds the fastest lap, though, and a race win here will give Max Verstappen the bronze Grand Slam, as it stands. Who had pole? Max Verstappen had pole. So actually, if Max Verstappen keeps fastest lap and gets a race win, and actually, well, yeah, that's it really, he's going to be the first driver to get a silver Grand Slam, which is absolutely incredible. 51 lap race this time. I can't really be bothered doing percentages like I was doing last time, though, but we are nearing the 10% now. We're nearing the 20% mark? Yes, we are. Max Verstappen makes the move on Fernando Alonso once again. This will not be a lead every single lap for Lewis Ham, unfortunately, because I don't think he led the second lap or the first lap even. However, I will look into it if he gets the race win, because it is technically possible for two drivers to get two bronzes or two bronze Grand Slams in a race. It's also technically possible for two drivers to get a bronze and a silver in the same race, assuming that one driver who starts on pole gets fastest lap by the end of the race, and then the other driver who was not on pole wins the race, leads every single lap, and overlaps everyone. So yeah, it is technically possible, but highly, highly unlikely, given that as of now we've only had two bronze Grand Slam winners, 6 races so far, and no silver Grand Slams. This is Jake Villeneuve and Fernando Alonso fighting it out for P3 and the podium. These 3 drivers will be within DRS, and for some reason it doesn't want to show us this. Jake Villeneuve goes to the inside with DRS. Verstappen is not really able to defend inside of the first corner, takes the lead of this little battle for second. And this battling is not good. Well, it's good for Lewis Ham, because that gap is insane now. But Roxy Tundra might also want to be in on the battle here. Villeneuve is holding it off. Is holding everyone off, even. Max Verstappen is at the back of this little pack, and Fernando Alonso is trying to squeeze into the middle. Verstappen has the inside line here, so Yes, Fernando Alonso's further back, and just like that, Roxy Tundra and even Tuxedo Noki are brought into this. Never mind. In front of them, Kitty Softpaws is now brought back into the battle. The soft tyres have not worn off yet. No idea how Lauda actually got that puncture, now that I think about it. Because there's not much runoff area. The drivers don't usually go off on the runoff area. And it was the rear left, which is a real mystery there. Anyway, Lewis Ham pitting right now would take him into P13, roughly, or maybe even P12. Maybe a little bit further back, given just how awkward the third sector is. It's literally just one corner. I mean, it's one major corner, and then it's just completely straight. So the only way you can get faster time in the third sector would be to just slipstream off of someone. Angel Frost on the inside tries to get past Whisper Wolf, but Whisper Wolf will certainly try to fight back. And that's as much as we see of that, but no, we don't. We go back to this battle. Whisper Wolf with, is that DRS? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that was DRS because ERS is on the other side. Gets back up into 12th position. Look at this massive cluster of cars just racing between each other. And by the looks of things, the soft tyres are dead. It's now the medium tyres that are taking over. Alan Post finished. Where did Alan Post finish? Actually, was in second place. Actually, first place at some point, but then lost out to Shoesnacker and pitted untimely, winding up in like 4th or something. But still an incredible performance. Post is now in P18, so not doing too well for Post. Why are we looking at Lauda? He's not racing anyone. If anything, he's incredibly close to being overlapped by Lewis Ham. Also, as well, I should point out that that's a 5-second gap now. That's incredible between Villeneuve and Lewis Ham. If every single driver on the grid DNFs bar one, that will count as overlapping everyone, assuming that the remaining driver finishes the race. Because it is entirely possible to do something like that around Montreal. Jake Villeneuve, Max Verstappen, and Fernando Alonso still going at it, but that looked incredibly close to contact there between Verstappen and Villeneuve. Verstappen has the inside line, but now we'll have the outside. And for some reason, we want to look at Gatol. No, we don't. No overtake there, but Verstappen has the inside line around these few corners and onto the entrance of the third sector. But it looks like Jake Villeneuve's ERS prevented that. And then on the inside of the next corner, does not seem to have made the move there, but will definitely have a decent chance on the start-finish straight, or in the third sector in general, due to just slipstreaming and DRS. I'd like to see how Jake Villeneuve defends, as a DRS is enabled just before you get onto the starting grid. And round the outside, Person Center sets the fastest third sector as well. Round the outside, Max Verstappen goes into second, and Verstappen without DRS has Fernando Alonso trying to make the move, and Jake Villeneuve trying to get past as well. Fernando Alonso up into P2, Jake Villeneuve comfortably in P3, almost, I say comfortably, still under attack by Max Verstappen. Kitty Softpaws and Tuxedo Noki fighting behind, as well as Roxy Tundra as well. They're all fighting. And the weather is becoming slightly British, though Britain is not really a great example right now because it is lovely and sunny outside right now. But we might have another wet race. I mean, we do sort of have a guinea pig for wet races right now because Bark Lauda is quite far behind. But if Bark Louder pits, we'll know that the track's starting to get really wet, because there's no indication of weather whatsoever, apart from any visual indication, which comes way too late, and you don't notice it until every other driver is in the pits. Unless like the whole pack crosses the finish line, and then you see the spray and the rain and all of that stuff. That's when you can justify going into the pits for wet tires. So many time penalties this race. Kitty Softpaws, Tuxedo Nocky, Goldie Iris, Angel Frost, Willow Wolf, Sally Snowball, and Phoebe Fittipaldi. All of them have 5-second time penalties. Interestingly, Jake Villeneuve, the driver who's been getting 5-second time penalties like every single race, doesn't have a time penalty just yet. Bizarrely enough. I don't know why I said it like that. Whisper Wolf still able to fight back for positions, especially now where the soft tyres begin to die. We are on the computer-controlled camera, and as the soft tyres begin to die, that gap is closing down ever so slightly between Lewis Ham and Fernando Alonso, but I wouldn't pass it by, because they still have the start-finish straight, and because I am a firm believer that they are judging by distance as opposed to time, the true gap will reveal itself. Max Verstappen seems to have lost the toe to Jake Villeneuve and Fernando Alonso, so it will be these two racers going head-to-head against each other for better positions on the podium as of now. No sign of a pit. 6.7 seconds was the original time / distance, and that is DRS right there, wide open for Jake Villeneuve, and tries to look around the inside line. Fernando Alonso put on ERS for a moment there, but Jake Villeneuve managed to get past for now. Despite them using DRS and ERS on the straights, they're still not faster than Lewis Ham, and I've got no idea whether or not Lewis Ham is actually using DRS whatsoever. Alain Prost still trying to fight on them soft tyres, but seriously struggling. Let me have a little look at Lewis Ham. No, Lewis Ham's not using any. Well, is using a little bit, but that's just sort of drip fed, I guess. The weather is still not getting awful as of now, and I do need to do a test. I need to do a wet race, but from start to finish, and that is a yellow flag in the second sector. Who is that? Roxy Tundra has had a huge looking spin there. This will bunch up the races coming into the second sector. Lauder is pretty much scot-free. Ham had only just escaped the third sector. Roxy Tundra. Does Roxy Tundra have any damage? 40% integrity. Lost a front wing as well. You don't need to pit when you lose one front wing, but I'm pretty sure the AI is programmed to pit. I didn't mean to click on Lewis Ham there. I'm pretty sure the AI is programmed to pit. So unfortunately, Tuxedo Nocky might have had a little bit of a race blunder here and a race loss. Roxy Tundra, where are you? You're going into the pits. But this has opened up a large gap between Tuxedo Nocky and Max Verstappen. If Lewis Ham were to pit currently, he'll wind up in 12th position, just like last time. I thought it was something different. Fernando Alonso going up into second place. The only points that Jake Villeneuve has scored was the 18 points he scored on the first race, and that was when he started in last place due to the start differentials. So as of right now, Villeneuve seems to be the lowest driver in the championship with a skill level of 10, which is unfortunate. But this race is certainly in his favour, because he is fighting back. Max Verstappen, who had pole, well, that was very close. Max Verstappen, who had pole, is struggling a bit now, down 3 positions. And Alain Prost begins to struggle. That looks very, very, what's the term, squirrely? I don't know. And another driver has bitten the dust. Not exactly. but is very close to biting dust, as Tundra and Lauda are the outliers in the entire pack because of the tyre issues and also just because of contact as well. Phoebe Fittipaldi is all the way back there as well, so unfortunately Woofton Martin aren't going to get many points, but their rivals, who I do believe are Renhout, I will need to check, Renhout is doing really good with Fernando Alonso. Where is Angel Frost in P13? That's not too bad, possibly could get points later on. Team Championship, we have Woofton Martin behind Renhout by 5 points. Renhout, Lotus Whiskers and Mercedes Petronas are incredibly bunched up, as is Tailwind Racing and Ferrari, so this will certainly start moving around some of them teams. As for Racing Paw, current team championship championship leaders, they will seem mostly unaffected by this because Noki is getting points. Unfortunately, Snowball isn't getting points, but the main competitors, being Perro Rojo, they're going to get slightly more points, but that might not last forever. And Klornigzog, they're not going to get any points by the sounds of things right now. And that right there is Sebastian Vettel up into P9, getting ahead of Whisper, who's doing pretty good on the hard tyres right now, though, but will undoubtedly not pit whatsoever. That was 6.9 seconds I saw between Lewis Ham and Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has, by the looks of things, created a big enough gap between the second three, I guess, and has broken the toe between the lot of them. Fernando Alonso has done an incredible job here. Soft pause for Mercedes Petronas is still certainly in the fight, especially when they begin pitting. And because we're in the second sector right now, I can't give accurate estimates for where Lewis Ham will come out after pitting, but as we head along the start-finish straight, we'll get a better idea. Usually the rule of thumb is add 20 seconds. It seems to work sometimes. But unless there is traffic and everyone starts diving into the pits for something, then it starts to get a little bit unreliable. I do not understand why you need hard tyres in this race. Like, start on softs and then finish on mediums or something like that. That's how you can be as powerful as you can in the entire race. The gap between Villeneuve and Verstappen is larger than Alonso to Villeneuve, and Lewis Ham is in the pits already, not leading this lap, so there goes that. But Lewis Ham is in the pits for medium tyres. That, I believe, is the correct tyre strategy, as long as it doesn't rain. If it rains, Lewis Ham is probably going to be done for. But that also does seem a little bit early as well, which is the biggest worry. Unless Alonso, Verstappen and Villeneuve continue fighting for the better position and drowning each other out, their medium tyres, or their new medium tyres even, won't last that long and probably will not be able to challenge Lewis Ham. And yeah, Lewis Ham is actually the only driver on merit without a increased start differential to go from, well, to get a race win without a skill level of 10 as well, which is an impressive feat. But like, we've only had 6 races so far, so who knows what will happen. Fernando Alonso currently in the lead, and Kitty Softpaws closing in on Max Verstappen. I don't remember if that's the same gap from last time. It would also be quite cool if you can change between interval and gap between race leader. Either way, Fernando Alonso is coming onto the third sector, so we can see roughly where Fernando Alonso will come out this time. And I think I just saw Lauda on the other side of the track then. That is Jake Villeneuve in the pits, giving up the position to Max Verstappen among a bunch of others. Where shall Jake Villeneuve come out after pitting? That building there is stupid. That's also Sebastian Vettel and Tuxedo Noki in the pits as well. Macho Gatto is also in the pits. All of which come out behind Lewis Ham. For a driver that starts on medium, I think they should go straight to softs or do double medium, which might be a little bit too slow, but it's certainly an acceptable strategy. It's better than like a single hard tyre, but you know, Whisper Wolf appears to be doing alright, but probably won't last. Fernando Alonso comfortably leading the race lead, but seems to have allowed Max Verstappen to close in a little bit, which is quite worrying for Fernando Alonso, I guess. But now the gap begins to widen as the third sector begins to end. Lewis Ham in P7 currently is doing pretty good. Ayrton Senna is in P5. There's a red flag in the second sector. Shine. For some stupid reason, I was looking at Alonso. I had Alonso clicked instead of automatic camera. Because if I click, right, basically, Fernando Alonso is in the pits. So if I click the driver's name, like Willow Wolf, it will view the outer camera like this. If I click it again, it will do different shots. And then if I click the green bit, I get the front, and then I get the back of the car. And then, I can swap between the two of them. I'm not getting there we are. But if I click monoposto, I get the most interesting bit that's going on in the race, which usually is not entirely accurate, but is, alright. Lewis Ham, 7 seconds behind Max Verstappen currently. And it is going very good for Lewis Ham right now. If it starts raining, Lewis Ham's race win chances are completely ruined, but will certainly be in a good spot overall, which is sort of what you want. Kitty Softballs as well is in an incredibly good spot for Mercedes Petronas. And Bark Lauder has fallen behind. No, Nigel Barksell has fallen behind Bark Lauder, and that is Lewis Ham getting ahead of Whisper Wolf. And we have I think we have returned to the order in which we started in, the top 3. However, that is unlikely to stick around. Lewis Ham sets the fastest second sector. I wonder if Lewis Ham will be able to take the fastest lap. Unlikely, especially on relatively old medium... I say relatively old medium tyres. Not exactly new medium tyres. Ayrton Senna, under such a good race as of now, decides to pit. Nelson Pupket as well, the other Brazilian, also pitting. Pupket is for Wolf Williams and is doing an alright job, but I don't remember his position pre-pitting. So, yeah. I think the best thing Bark Lauder should have done was go on to hard tyres, because you can't really do anything after a puncture besides just try and power down on hard tyres. Roxy Tundra up into P6. Wait a minute, Tundra was the one who had to do an early pit, didn't she? Roxy Tundra's done an incredible job of saving that. Fernando Alonso has just overtaken Angel Frost. That is a good decision there. And behind Frost is Fittipaldi, Villeneuve, Noki, Shoesnacker, Behrman, Vet. Where's Verstappen? Verstappen hasn't pitted yet, idiot. Soft Paws gets into the race lead after making a swift inside move overtake towards the end of the second sector. And by the looks of things, Lewis Ham might take the net race lead the end of this straight. It depends on what's going to happen here. Them tyres are incredibly new and incredibly grippy. Looks to the inside, and then there you go. DRS is activated, and just shoot straight past. Not even using ERS here. Macho Gatto, the fastest in the second sector, and that is a double overtake for Lewis Ham, who sticks it into the first corner and is now the race leader, and also net race leader as well, because Max Verstappen still hasn't pitted. The other racer, Jake Villeneuve, who was sort of at the back of the three-way pack fight for a better spot on the podium, has caught up to Fernando Alonso. Almost, they're right behind each other, but there's a gap of 3 seconds there, so we need to wait for this to develop and other racers to pit. Max Verstappen has held out the soft tyres for as long as possible. Will definitely need to pit at some point. Ayrton Senna, who started last, is in P17. I need to note down the start differentials because I'll need to make a case on this. I also need to do like averages and some really cool statistics, I guess. I might do a video on... Oh my goodness, Jake... what? Tuxedo Noki and Sally Snowball, both of them managed to get past Villeneuve, and all three of them have a skill level of 10, which is stunning. Yeah, so what I might do is I might make a video on like some of the statistics in Formula Pool and also how I choose the races for the second season. I haven't initiated the second season yet, or properly even. Max Verstappen still not pitting and has just gotten overtaken by a hard tyre driver, Whisper Wolf, and his Gato and Schumacher fighting between each other. Villeneuve is now ahead of Willow and both the Koenigsegg, Racing Paws even. I don't know if Villeneuve will be able to hold off against the Koenigsegg's here, or any of them, but it seems to be so as they approach the end of this DRS zone. Willow is ahead of both the Racing Paws, but I do believe that Noki started on soft tyres and has pitted to mediums. Now, there is Jake Villeneuve and Fernando Alonso in the same picture. Alonso was fighting against Goldie Iris and has gotten into P6 as of now. Tuxedo Noki not able to get past Willow just yet. Some ERS down here would be quite nice, and does so towards the end of the third sector. And Lewis Ham with a 5 second gap between Kitty Softballs. You would think Lewis Ham is on like a start differential here, but is not. And by start differential I mean like there's what is there? There's a wing setup, there's a brake setup, or a brake balance even, and there's a suspension setup. And you have speed. For the first one, you have speed, which is a negative number between 0 and 50, and grip, which is a positive number between 0 and positive 50. So usually speed, usually wing setup is set onto -15 or -30 for speed, which is, I believe, the biggest contributing factor here. Brake balance is not really important, nor is suspension, but the big crunch is that the fact is that every single driver on the grid has a differential setup of 0, 0, 0, which is the default, apart from the racer in last place, who uses a differential setup, sort of, that I used to set the fastest lap around the track. And that's just because it's a little bit unfair that they start in last place, so they sort of need... Well, they're sort of given an opportunity with a differential setup. Evidently, by Michael Schumacher starting last and finishing first in Hungaroring, and also Oliver Behrman, who started last and finished first in Melbourne. Evidently, it is a little bit too overpowered, so I think I need to adjust the grip setup, or like the wing setup. So, because when it's... Oh my goodness, safety car has been deployed. Max Verstappen is in the pits. 2 drivers are out. Sally Snowball and Macho Gatto are out, and that looked like a wing. That looked like a wing that fell across the ground there. I wish I could have gone back in time to see that. Max Verstappen in the pits alongside Willow Wolf, Goldie Iris, Phoebe Fittipaldi, and Schumacher. Anyone else going to go in the pits? Behrman as well? I don't know if I already said Behrman. Safety car is out. And 10-second time penalty for Gatto, but that's not really important now, given that Gatto's race is essentially over. Lewis Ham's race is definitely threatened. This will take a while to reset everything. Willow is on soft tyres. That might work, actually, because soft tyres last for about 20 laps. Max Verstappen took his soft tyres to like 27 laps, actually, and the safety car is stupid. It lasts like 3 laps. So we'll begin racing on like lap 30-ish. So that's a 21 lap or 22 lap gap to the finish. So the soft tyre swap right now is, well, it's an odd strategy, but it's certainly a possible strategy. This will bring in Bark Lauder and Roxy Tundra into the fight. Oh no! I noticed a problem. I've noticed a problem now. Or have I? Why is Lewis Ham like miles ahead of everyone? Well, now the grid closes together. Because I think that there was one time under safety car or something like that. Or virtual safety car. No, not virtual safety car. It probably was normal safety car. I was able to overtake everyone. I have no idea why or how that worked, because you cannot overtake anyone under safety car. But virtual safety car is rubbish. Okay, and I'll tell you what. Who's that in the pit? That is Roxy Tundra, yes, and Kitty Softpaws are both in the pits. Softpaw Tundra even had an advantage because of the untimely pit stops, but now that seems to be completely ruined. It's like the entire pack passes them both. Yeah, so the problem with virtual safety car is that it slows down the cars during the turns, so you're sort of in autopilot mode. You can have the accelerator pressed down, your speed will be maxed, and you can't accelerate into corners, you'll be slowed down into corners. The problem with virtual safety car, though, is that it slows you down into the corners much more than any other car. Because, like, when I'm in virtual safety car, what happens is, like, I'll be like, let's say, a second behind the driver in front, and then by the end of the virtual safety car, I'll be like 2 or 3 or maybe even 5 seconds behind the car in front. And it's not my driving or anything like that. The steering is sort of autopiloted as well, so that needs to be fixed. Either way, we are in Baku, and Senna started 22nd. Where's Senna now? Well, ended unknown yet. Reached, well, 7th right now, but I will need to look into that later. Either way, Senna is doing an incredible job for Racing Paw, as is Nelson Pupket, who's actually in the points for Wolf Williams. Now we need to do is wait, because for some completely stupid reason, once the safety car crosses the finish line here, lapped cars will be allowed to overtake. What lapped cars? Yep, lapped cars are allowed to overtake. Thank goodness. Right, because if it crossed the finish line and that didn't show up on the top of the screen, that means that we would have had to have gone for another lap, and then lapped cars could overtake, and then another lap, and by the end of that lap, the safety car comes in and the race resumes. Oh my god, this is just... Wait, what? Oh, that said Lewis Ham... Oh, for goodness sake, I hate it when it does that. It said Lewis Ham, but we're looking at Purton Senna. I was like, why does Lewis Ham have a car in front of him that's not the safety car? I'm gonna have a little snack right now. Pringles, not sponsored. The smoky bacon flavour. Yeah, I can get it, but it just... the flavour doesn't last, I don't think. Also, as you would expect, smoky bacon flavour tastes nothing like actual smoky bacon. Oh, and Fernando Alonso, Jake Villeneuve, they're very close to each other, as they were previously. Max Verstappen, however, is not. Tuxedo Noki might also be in this battle as well. Willow's going to hold everyone up, apart from Lewis Ham, assuming that Willow doesn't get in Lewis Ham's way, thus granting Lewis Ham, well, clean air, I guess. And now the safety car is ending. And I've stopped eating Pringles, because I want to talk with a non-full mouth. Race resumes. Lewis Ham gets away really well and almost has a gap of 1 second. Whisper Wolf was certainly holding everyone else up. Sort of made Alonso run a little bit of an awkward line into the second corner. But they are closing into Lewis Ham. This could be pretty bad, I think. But Fernando Alonso gets into second place and is incredibly close to Lewis Ham right now. Kitty Softpaws, Roxy Tundra, they've got a lot of fighting to do, but can't really do much because, I mean, it is Baku after all. I mean, it's not really an open circuit whatsoever. It's a street circuit. Sebastian Vettel makes a move on Tuxedo Noki and also tries to get past Jake Villeneuve, who is sort of stuck behind Whisper right there. And does so. Sebastian Vettel is now onto the podium. I don't believe Sebastian Vettel has had a podium this season. Who is this? Angel Frosten Fittipaldi, I think. Jake Villeneuve is in the mix of a huge cluster of cars with Max Verstappen at the very back of them. And Jake Villeneuve running sort of wide there, losing a position to Purton Senna as well. Jake Villeneuve has had an awful restart there. Bark louder. Something's happened to Bark louder. No puncture. But either way, something has happened to him. Might have been some collision, or we just need to... I'm clicking the wrong button. Car integrity? 100%. What the hell happened to Lauda? And there goes Angel Frost into the points. You would expect the soft tyres to be a little bit faster, but the evidence struggles to support that. Though that being said, Willow is now into P11, but that's not going to last too long because of the 5-second time penalties. Iris, Noki, Willow, Frost, Fittipaldi, Softpaws, Snowball, and Gato times 2 have 5-second time penalties due to mainly collisions, I believe. But Lewis Ham is trying to create a gap, and I do believe that Fernando Alonso is not going to get ERS across the ERS line there. No ERS. So Lewis Ham has already broken the toe, which is incredible. I do not know what the gap is or the gap you need to be in to get slipstreamed, because there's a little indicator on the side whenever you were in a slipstream region, and what it does is I think it starts when you're like at least 1.6 seconds behind the car. You need to be within 1 second when you enter the DRS activation zone, and then you actually get to trigger the DRS zone on some of the lines on track. It is a little bit awkward to understand all of the lines. Goldie Iris is doing an astounding job for someone without a starting differential as well. Is in P5. Jake Villeneuve is unfortunately suffering, but there's Purton Senna in P6 right now, so Purton Senna has done an incredible job. Willow Wolf has dropped back. Willow Wolf was near the points, but has dropped back massively. Whisper Wolf is dropping back as well because of some fucking hard tyres. Yeah. Now all we need to do is just wait and see what happens. Willow Wolf is now back up into P12. Makes no sense. Just like jumping up and down the whole order, and swaps team positions. But Whisper tries to dive down the inside as they run into the second corner. Is unable to make the move. And by the looks of things, Softpaws is seriously struggling, but not as much as Roxy Tundra. Tuxedo Noki is in P14. Tuxedo Noki is having a awful timeout after starting in like P4 after the safety car. And what about Sally Snowball? Snowball's out. Yeah, I forgot about that. So Snowball's out. Racing Paw have had a good day, which has turned awful. But, that being said, Koenigsags are now in the points. Willow jumped up 2 positions there, somehow. But appears to have held on to it. Angel Frost with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. And who is that spun in the air as well? Angel Frost just completely spun the car in the air. Wow. But some of the front runners are now out of the second sector, so are not affected by the yellow flag that was caused there. Usually that happens during sort of traffic-ish area or points of congestion. Goldie Iris on them soft tyres, racing for the podium. I think, is that the podium? That is the podium. Gets ahead of Sebastian Vettel. And speaking of which, right behind Sebastian Vettel is Max Verstappen, who's looking for points. For better position even. And Willow Wolf up into P8. A not surprising final introduction to the true power of the soft tyres. However, this will not last forever, so you need to get into a better spot for you to be able to coast towards the end of the race. And safety car has been deployed yet again. Whisper Wolf is out. Softpaws with a 10-second time penalty. Frost also with a 10-second time penalty as well. Whisper Wolf is out of the race. An unfortunate turnout there. No idea what happened because the cameras didn't bother showing it. No sign of damage either. I'm going to run down. Villeneuve has a bit of damage. So does Shoe Snacker. Bearman. Noki. Tundra's fine, surprisingly. Softpaws. Porst. Barksel. They all have damage, as does Lauda. Frost is completely fine, but on new soft tyres, which is sort of the play here, safety car's out, and we now have some laps to wait. So I'm going to eat, because I'm hungry. No one seems to be pitting on the safety car, because if you want to pit on the safety car, pit now. Not a lap later, like, I can't remember who it was did. Or maybe they did it like that. I'm not 100% sure. I think they passed the pit lane. And then under the slow speed of the safety car, then decided to pit later. Or slow speed of the bunch. Goldie Iris is in with a chance of getting a race win hit. Well, maybe not. I just noticed a 5-second time penalty immediately afterwards. But Goldie Iris is in an incredible position thus far. I'm honestly surprised how Frost got a 5-second time penalty, needed to pit because of damage, spun in the air over a car, and that didn't bring out the safety car. But Whisper somehow crashed due to some reasons we didn't catch on camera, or, well, the computer didn't catch on camera, and that brought out the safety car, so now we have to sit here for 3 laps. Theoretically, advantage soft tyres right now, because advantage soft tyres, right? For goodness sake. Advantage soft tyres, because of the slow speed, I think, theoretically, they should be wearing less. Degrading less. Therefore, it's their advantage. Jake Villeneuve's points are slipping away, unfortunately. Shoesnacker might be in with points by the end of the race. But Villeneuve, this might be Villeneuve's first race without a penalty. And it was an incredibly good race as well. Lapped cars can't overtake, so we've got another 2 more laps. A lap round here takes 1 minute 30 odd, maybe less than that. Under the safety car, that goes up to 3 minutes. Also, stupidly, I can call out the safety car whenever I want, but I cannot bring in the safety car whenever I want. So calling out the safety car whenever I want by accident leaves us stuck here for 3 laps or more. Roxy Tundra has DNF'd once. Couple DNFs on race number 4. Which race number 4 is Marina Bay. No surprises there. Safety car comes undone in the next lap. Fernando Alonso has DNF'd once. Nigel Barksdale, Nelson Pupkett have also DNF'd once. Jake Villeneuve has DNF'd once. Phoebe Fittipaldi has DNF'd once. Willow Wolf has DNF'd once. Macho Gatto would have DNF'd twice by the end of this, as has Kitty Softballs. Just a somewhat interesting statistic there. I'm also going to stop eating. And for the sake of our sanity and everyone watching, I'm going to disable safety car. Right, for one reason and one reason only. I feel like I need to go somewhere soon. I don't remember exactly when, but because I need to go and that is looming, I want this race over and done with. In the event of a crash, there will be a virtual safety car, and although I did say the virtual safety car is very unfair, it is unfair in my favour when I'm racing, because I, for some reason, just travel slower under virtual safety car than all of the other racers. But in this case, since all of the other racers are AI, I won't be traveling. They won't be. One will not be traveling faster than the other, theoretically. At the end of this straight, we shall resume racing, as the safety car is now ending. Current race leader Lewis Ham will be under threat by Fernando Alonso, who is on slightly newer tyres. But also they'll both be under threat by Goldie Iris, who's on soft tyres. It is lights. Well, I say it's lights out and away we go. Safety cars in. The race resumes. Lewis Ham seems to have gotten away well, though, but that's not the biggest part. This bit will be the most brutal bit. Never mind, DRS is not re-enabled. Lewis Ham seems to have held on to the lead. Yes, seems to have held on to the lead definitely. Frost got past Bark Lauder. Bark Lauder's had a bit of a terrible race. We've also not had any rain this race, which is a good thing. Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know if the chances increase on this track due to wet weather. Schumacher back up into points, throwing Villeneuve out of points. Which was unfortunate because Jake Villeneuve was having such a good race before pitting and all of that stuff. It was Jake Villeneuve, Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen all fighting against each other, and they were fighting on as equal ground as you like, so only the slightest advantages benefited one of them, and even then them advantages would be on track only. Fernando Alonso closing the gap. Will he make a move to the inside? tries and only just does so. Fernando Alonso is in the lead currently, making Lewis Ham run a little bit wide there. Both of them deploying ERS. Hang on. There's not DRS. Why are they not given DRS? What the hell? Oh my goodness, is the gap to restart or like the number of laps needed to restart DRS after safety car different to the actual race? Because in the actual race you can't use DRS until like lap number 2, I think. But under safety car it seems just completely different. So yeah. Max Verstappen is irrelevant right now. Goldie Iris is in the lead of the race somehow after getting past Fernando Alonso and Lewis Ham. What a turnout there. Will any positions change? No, Goldie Iris is extending that lead right now. But will Lewis Ham be able to take back the position from Fernando Alonso? It's not a first place finish, but it's a better position nevertheless. No is just too far away. But will he get... 5-second time penalty to Phoebe Fittipaldi. No interesting camera angles for this supposed collision. DRS is now finally enabled. And Lewis Ham tries the inside and seems to have done the move, but Fernando Alonso fights back only just. But the battle between them two is certainly gonna give Goldie Iris the gap, and Max Verstappen is also going to join this battle. Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen fought earlier. Lewis Ham also fought a little bit with Max Verstappen to the beginning of the race, but then eventually had a huge gap, which led him to what seemed to be some victory, but that's just all coming undone right now. Goldie Iris needs a 5-second time penalty, 5-second gap between herself and any one of the drivers behind. Lewis Ham might actually start struggling here, because Lewis Ham, of the two drivers in front, has the lowest skill level of the lot of them. So you could see the tire marks of where one of the cars went into the walls. It doesn't look like any positions will be exchanged between Lewis Ham and anyone else, but Fernando Alonso dives to the inside, up into P2 once again. But they are all giving a large gap to Goldie Iris, who will be the most surprising race victor of the whole series, given that it was... Who was it? It was Oliver Behrman was the second race winner ever, and did that with a skill level of 7. I think Goldie Iris has a skill level of 7 as well, but might be getting a race win without the starting differential. So that will be something to look forward to. Depends on how the battle at the front develops. We have 11 laps to go. I've got no idea how fast these guys are going around the track, because they're not setting any fastest sectors or laps, but I should imagine 34 multiplied by 3 or something like that. Angel Frost has overtaken Lewis Ham, but with the 10-second time penalty throws Frost all the way down to P18. But Lewis Ham needs that position. Either way, Frost's soft tyres are certainly helping here. The worry is that Goldie Iris will lose as a result of the soft tyres, but Max Verstappen, still with fastest lap, is miles ahead. Angel Frost and Fernando Alonso are sparring. Alonso shouldn't have lost the position there, because the Reinhardts need Alonso in front because of the penalty. Ayrton Senna has now reached the highest of P5, and really hasn't had the nicest race of any driver who's started last currently. But he's not that far from Fernando Alonso. Ayrton Senna has gotten past Lewis Ham as well. What has happened to Lewis Ham? Must have been because Lewis Ham pitted the earliest of all of them. Max Verstappen pitted the latest, so should be in prime tyres, but appears to be using some ERS, maybe, but not as much as Goldie Iris. Goldie Iris is slowly losing the gap. Right now we have a McLaren in first and a McLaren in last, which I don't think we've had something like that before, though, but this is just a human being's tendency to recognise patterns. And this here is Angel Frost closing in on Max Verstappen. Maybe the Van Hout sort of wanted this to happen, I guess. Either way, they're still going to get, or at least Fernando Alonso is going to get, quite a few good points. And Angel Frost gets up into P2. I just wonder if Frost is going to drag Verstappen to, or closer to Goldie Iris. Either way, we are nearing the race end. And Spark Lauder is just miles behind. No idea what's happened with Spark Lauder, if anything. And also, Willow Wolf for Klornixarg's probably not going to be in the points, nor is Racing Paws Tuxedo Noki not going to be in the points either because of the penalties, I guess, but it ultimately depends on the gap between other drivers for Willow Wolf, or Willow Wolf's final outcome. Same thing for Goldie Iris and Angel Frost. 5-second time penalty to Nelson Pupgate. Go on, show us this collision. With Tundra? Tundra's fine. Ugh. I don't get it. Max Verstappen losing his grip on the 5-second gap between himself and Iris. They need to keep the pressure down. Kitty's soft paws trying to fight Tundra, both pitted after the first safety, or during the first safety car, and are both outside of the points, obviously ignoring time penalties right now. So many races are going to be thrown everywhere. Ayrton Senna is up into P4, so this is a slow burn. Ayrton Senna might actually catch up to Max Verstappen and extend the gap. Either way, them two soft tyres out front need to power down. So right now, Angel Frost might be in attack range. I'd like to see some ERSs, 70-ish%, 31% from Max, and 10% from Frost. Anyway, 5-second time penalty to Jake Villeneuve. He has not gone a race without getting a penalty for causing some collision somewhere with someone who we don't know, and it wasn't really a collision because the driver didn't crash nor lose any damage. I don't think. Nelson Pupkett's car is 81% integrity right now, so damage may be a little bit subjective there. Furthermore, Ayrton Senna is out of the tow from Fernando Alonso, but that might not be so. DRS detection and DRS activation is negative for Fernando Alonso. Michael Schumacher, previous race winner, is now up into P5 and might actually be within tow of Ayrton Senna. Yes, almost definitely. Goldie Iris and Angel Frost fighting up front. This fighting seems pointless because, well, I mean, unless they try to constructively interfere instead of destructively interfering, as long as the gap between them and Verstappen is above 5 seconds, Goldie Iris will get the race win. But Angel Frost is not in the best position for a race win here. Either way, we're still waiting on Ayrton Senna to begin closing down to Max Verstappen. Why are we all so slow here? Willow Wolf is not in the points, maybe in the points, depending on where everyone winds up, but in like the second sector, all of the drivers slow down a little bit, so that might be the reason why all the times get very close together. So in the third sector right now, Max Verstappen is above 5 seconds from Frost, but is it 5 seconds to Iris? I do not think so. And this is Willow Wolf and Phoebe Fittipaldi sparring against each other for P7. They're literally destroying the medium tires. I'm not going to know who the race winner is, really. Well, I'll have to announce that Frost crossed the finish line first, but as for the race winner, it all depends on the gap between Iris and Verstappen. Iris's tyres will start dying, but actually, that being said, Verstappen's tyres will also start dying as well, because he put them on lap 27, and Iris put the soft tyres on at about lap 30. What is the tyre? 78% for Verstappen and 85% for Iris. So right now it looks fine, I guess, as long as it doesn't reach 78%. I mean, if Iris's tyres reach 78%, then yes, we will know that Iris might be in trouble. But for now, she seems fine. Maybe, but that gap is 2 seconds. It is closing down ever so slowly. Max Verstappen might have his hands on the second race win, or his second race win even. Ayrton Senna is unable to attack, and has lost a ton of time. So even if Goldie Iris doesn't get the race win, Goldie Iris will be in second at least. But Angel Frost might actually be able to take the race win here, because Frost is just so powerful right now. The 75%, what? 75%, 77, and was it 8 or 63? It's either 83 or 63, I don't know. Goldie Iris is definitely in trouble now. And Shoe Snacker and Senna are also fighting as well. Senna is losing positions, unfortunately, but with a awful race start, is incredibly high enough, especially just for points. So you have to give it that. Lewis Ham is out of the points currently, and Fittipaldi is doing pretty good. Soft Paws is now going to go up against Willow for more points at some point in time. And where's Tundra? Tundra's in 13th. Oh, so Tundra wasn't able to properly take off like Soft Paws did. Either way, we're into the third sector now. Goldie Iris is closer to Verstappen than Frost, and that is a gap of 5 seconds, but to Verstappen there's nearly 10. There's nearly 10. Angel Frost might be a race winner here. But I think Frost has slightly newer tyres, so ultimately I've got no idea how this is going to end. Soft Paws is going to try the inside on Willow, and does so successfully for now, but you still have the other end. And yep, Willow has DRS, I believe. Yep, and takes that position back. Ultimately, for now, this is not really for much, because they're just too close to being out of the points, and both of them have time penalties as well. So there's not really much you can do unless you get ahead of Fernando Alonso, which could be possible. Alonso's tyre percentage is 58? Is that 58 or is that 68? Willow is on 80 or 60. Soft paws is on 81 or 61. It's very difficult to see, especially with it. It's a slightly fuzzy-ish resolution, but either way, it's not that noticeable, I don't think. Only the numbers are quite low resolution unless I increase the quality. Angel Frost has a 10-second gap between herself and Max Verstappen. Hold up. That's a tyre 71, 74, so Verstappen is theoretically faster right now. Goldie Iris is losing the race win, but it's all going to have to go down on the final lap, so where I can actually properly gauge where all the races are going to wind up. And we have 3 more laps to go. Yes, good as it is, the gap between the 2 numbers +1. Error by 1 stuff. Shoesnacker is in P4, so an incredible result for Ferrari, and during testing Ferrari wasn't that powerful. And also during testing we never had, I don't think we had a race win or even a race podium from a driver who started last. So this is very surprising that this has happened. Furthermore, we never like. Also, the average race position or race finish for someone who started last was like, I think, only just outside the point. So this is definitely unexpected and obviously needed to be looked into and balanced. Frost crosses the finish line, and that's a gap of 10 seconds. So Frost will be in the lead, or will be in the resultant lead, followed by Verstappen and then Iris, unfortunately. For now, this is just how it turned out. That was a tailwind racer going into the pits. Oliver Behrman is pitting them soft tyres. You'll want to go for more soft tyres if you're going to challenge the fastest lap. Currently held by Max Verstappen. If Max Verstappen keeps hold of the fastest lap, Verstappen will get a bronze Grand Slam for pole position and fastest lap. But if Verstappen manages to get a race win due to the time penalties, Verstappen could get a silver Grand Slam for pole position, fastest lap, and a race win. And obviously, for the sake of it, I have played this game as well, and I've gotten a platinum once before. I had pole position, I had fastest lap, I had the race win. I led every single lap, and I think it was in Silverstone or like a race prior or something like that. I actually know it was Montreal. Maybe it was the new Montreal where they don't crash. I had overlapped everyone bar one driver, and it was a race to the finish line, and I think I only just lost that race to the finish line. So I lapped everyone bar one driver, so I missed out on the platinum by 1 overtake. But Hungaroring was where I got the platinum Grand Slam. And that is still a gap of 10 seconds as we go on to the final lap. This could spell doom for Angel Frost, because Verstappen and Iris are very close to each other right now. Kitty Softpaws just made the overtake on Fernando Alonso, trying to do something, especially under that 10-second time penalty, throwing her all the way back to P16. Angel Frost sets the fastest first sector. And I mean, right now it is all to play for, especially with the top 3. This was an outcome none of us expected. I'm fairly confident in saying that. Verstappen is certainly in firing range and tow range of Goldie Iris. But only time will tell whether or not the move can be made. We also need to keep an eye out for virtual safety cars and obviously some collision mid-race. Purton Senna and Michael Schumacher will not catch on to this time penalty stuff. And that looked incredibly daring from Nelson Pupkett there. Fastest first sector goes to Oliver Behrman, who is on soft tyres, as I suggested earlier. And wait, hang on, they crossed the finish line already. No, they didn't. Angel Frost crosses the finish line, and we're going to have to wait to see if the gap is big enough. Goldie Iris finishes this finish line second, or crosses the finish line second, and the gap is big enough to wind up ahead of Iris before Iris's penalty. So Angel Frost wins at Baku, and Max Verstappen takes second place, followed by Goldie Iris under time penalties, followed by Schumacher and Purton Senna. What a turnout this race. And no point. Oh, well, maybe, but I'm not 100% certain that Willow will get any points. No points at all for Perro Rojo. Fastest lap goes to Oliver Behrman, who managed to nick it from Max Verstappen, stealing the bronze Grand Slam that Max Verstappen was so close to getting, and actually very close to getting a silver Grand Slam as well. Either way, Alain Prost sets the fastest second sector and has a time to beat to try and take the fastest lap from Oliver Behrman, who scored a little bit in the first race, I think. Won the second race and might have scored in the third race. I'm not 100% sure, but hasn't been that active since then. No sign of a fastest lap there. I don't know if Frost was given the fastest lap, but because there's like no way to tell. Angel Frost, actually, who was the driver last? I don't remember. Angel Frost wins in Baku, followed by Max Verstappen and Goldie Iris. A surprising outcome, definitely. I thought Lewis Ham had this race as like an instant win, but Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso and Jake Villeneuve were certainly up there, but unfortunately Jake Villeneuve was not able to get a decent enough position, and here we are. Alain Prost, it doesn't say that Prost got fastest lap, but as soon as you're below, like you're in P11 or lower, you do not get points. Willow Wolf wound up getting a point for Klonexar, closing the gap down to Racing Paul by 1 point. It's now 26-point gap between them two, but also Perro Rojo with a double point finish. Renhout also got a double point finish as well. It was a good move throwing Frost ahead of Fernando Alonso. Nigel Barksall. I don't think Nigel Barksall hasn't scored a point yet, but has done now. Nigel Barksall has had an incredible race. And what a way to end this race. Up next, we go to Circuit de Monte Carlo in Monaco. And the driver starting last there will be Sebastian Vettel. Yes, it will be Sebastian Vettel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well so you won't miss out on any of the new videos that are going to come out. Thanks for watching.